What's happening, everybody, and welcome to episode 47 of the Good Kraken podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ernell Pearson, alongside my little Thai peanut. It's Xander. Let's fucking go. And the Crimson Chin, Garrick Egan. Tosado. That's lit. Boys, how was your guys' week?
Garrick, you want to start?
Yeah, it's good.
Taking
turns. I
was
gonna be like, who's gonna go first? I had a good weekend. Well, I mean, start of my weekend, I guess. I went and saw a Jonas Brothers concert with my wife last night, which I'm wearing my sweet Jonas Brothers hoodie I got at the concert last night for entirely too much money because band merch can be expensive. But hey,
yeah,
it's dude, they put on a great show, honestly, like really, truly great, super entertaining show. This is actually the second time I've seen the Jonas Brothers in concert, and I'm sure it's probably not the last.
No, dude, 2 times in a lifetime?
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
My God. Xander, what about you, man? How have you been?
It's been pretty busy, but also pretty freaking good. Especially since, I got to go golfing with the homies yesterday.
I saw that,
go
dude.
see a movie. Dude, it's been nice. It's been nice, and we're just gonna keep on riding that train.
I like riding the trains and playing. Well, I haven't played golf with friends. I'm not a golf person myself. You were flossing it though, looking good in a
golf with
polo.
friends is on Game Pass.
I went full on golf dad mode. I just tucked in the shirt, got the belt and everything. I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Dude, I'm all about getting a 30-pack and driving golf carts around.
30-pack. That's
what golfing really is.
Sheesh. Garrick, are you a golf guy yourself? Are you into golf at all, or like?
Dude, I want to be a golf guy, but I can't get my friends to go golfing with me. I was like, we're just gonna get shit faced and like not make par. Like it's gonna be okay.
Yep. Exactly. That's the way to do it.
That's the only way to do it. That's
really the way to go.
Yeah.
Seriously, 4 dudes, 30-pack, not even making par.
Nope,
just
not at all.
Shit face.
Yep.
What's the point of the game? You might as well just stand in a park wearing polos.
Yeah. Okay. See, but here's the thing, Ernell. It's the experience, and standing around a 30-pack in a polo, that's alcoholism. And golfing while having a 30-pack in a golf cart, that's a good time.
It's perfectly acceptable. It's perfectly acceptable.
It's not the adventure, it's the friends you make along the way.
Yes, exactly.
I hate it so fucking much, dude. I mean, like I can only imagine what it would be like for the 3 of us to like stand in a park and just like in polos specifically drinking around holes in the ground. And then you guys be like, this is the life. And I'm like, no, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all.
If you really want to up the ante, there's always got to be that one guy that brings like an obnoxious cigar.
Oh, there's always that guy. Is it Eric? Is it always an Eric? It's an Eric.
Actually, it was Joe. I'm calling you out, Joe. That was you.
Yeah, it's a Joseph. Joseph's definitely.
And he lost it because we're sitting there golfing, and then all of a sudden he'll literally just leave it on the ground and then swing and then forget that he left it. Like this happened like 2 times where he had to go back for it, and then finally the 3rd time he lost it, he couldn't find it. He couldn't find it again, and he was just like completely just pissed off the entire time. I'm like, bro. You should have just had us like hold it for you. Like what were you thinking? He's like, I don't know, man. I thought we were just I just put it down and we'd be good. We'd be good. You don't just put random shit on the floor.
I love holding it for people because that is what we do here. So today we're talking about Sony being dickheads, delays, Shang-Chi and the Legend of These Hands, and much, much more, because this is the Good Kraken podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 12 p.m. If you're watching live, you can submit questions and topics to tinyurl.com/GK submissions to be a part of the show. If you're having a good time so far, you can record this show live and ad-free by following and subscribing right here at twitch.tv/GoodKrakenShow. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime. We would love for you to give that to us to help keep us pushing content out for all of you listening or watching at home. But if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that is totally fine. You can catch our episodes on your podcast service of choice at 8 a.m. the next day. But you can also support us by going to that little link down there below the video right now and clicking that YouTube channel link there, and then subscribing by hitting that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. Garrick!
What?
We have some plan at work, my friend. So the other night, last night, actually, I streamed Surgeon Simulator 2 right here on our Twitch, and you can watch that now as a VOD there. All the rest of the guys were way busy last night. Xander was watching Shang-Chi. Garrick was seeing the Jonas Brothers. Devin was on his way to a wedding. Like, I was literally the only motherfucker in this place. All right. So I took matters into my own hands, and I said, you know what? I'm a cut a hoe. And boy, did I cut
Literally.
some hoes.
For science.
Oh, man. And boy, was that game a goddamn mess. It's not a mess. It's not a bad mess. It's a good mess. I had never played Surgeon Simulator 2 in my fucking life, but I certainly played it last night. It was... Oh boy, I can't wait to play more, I guess. Please follow and review and rate our podcast channel, please. We're still trying to break that algorithm a little bit. I did a little bit of an experiment the other day, and for whatever reason, I left a review on our podcast that was essentially me just saying, "Ooh boy," and I quote, just to see if it would pop up, and unfortunately it did not. So please try to leave some reviews on our podcast. If they're not coming through or not showing up for whatever reason, please let me know so I can find out what the fuck is going on. Anyways, with that said, use Twitch Do Better and sub off Twitch on Twitter to support the movement. There are lots of Twitch content creators that are still, to this day, getting hate rated by a bunch of fucking idiot, a bunch of dickheads, a bunch of morons,
Bunch of Neanderthals.
a bunch of fucking troglodytes out here, okay, acting fucking fools, and we're trying to make sure that we can put a stop to that. We're gonna be talking a little bit about it today, but the movement is not yet over. Please go there and support, my friends. Nolan Horn, yes, 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 fucking love this show, yes, yes. Anyways, we're going to start out with some little waves. Now, here's the deal. We're doing things a little bit different today than we usually do. So usually we would have little waves, some main headlining news stuff, and we talk hands-on, and we get into the main headlining segment. That's the whole shebang, right? Today, because we want to spend a lot of love and a lot of attention on this wonderful movie, Shang-Chi, that we just experienced this week, we're just going to kind of stuff all of our news into one little thing here in little waves. And we're each going to talk about one thing for hands-on, and the rest of our time together is to Daddy Simu. Okay, Daddy Simu. That's what we're doing. All right, so let's get started. Little waves, boys. First off, Overwatch League's 2022 season will use an early build of Overwatch 2. Sure. I mean, like, cool. That's, yeah, who would have thunk, right?
Are people clamoring for an Overwatch 2?
I mean, sure. Yeah, I could.
There are some out there.
Yeah, I know. And then I was like, you know what? Like this is the only Actibliss thing I'll even touch on, and it was mainly just more so for like the aspect of like just the software talk here as far as like how they're utilizing the game and like what that can mean for future stuff. But really, it's just very, very topical. But that is how games fucking function. So, Rick and Morty,
Yeah.
Adult Swim cast Christopher Lloyd as Rick for a 15-second Twitter video. Did you guys see this?
I did not.
No.
This is sick. This is sick.
It's kind of hype. Like, to be complete, I don't even like fucking Rick and Morty. This was hype. Like, because you know that he was based on Christopher Lloyd. There's no fucking way he wasn't,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Easily.
Oh, 100%.
having him be a part of this? Yeah. Dope. Are you guys Rick and Morty fans? Are you guys into that shit? I personally am not.
I've been. I'm not like a diehard fan like most people. I've watched a couple episodes and I can see why people get into it. It's just for the most part these kind of like raunchy adult cartoons. I hate to sound like an elitist. I'm not, but it's just not for me. Like I'm not a fan of Rick and Morty. Not a fan of Family Guy. I hate South Park. It's just
Oh.
not for me.
You hate South
I
Park.
really-
That breaks my heart a little bit.
I watched the first 3 seasons of Rick and Morty and like was pretty into it for those first 3 seasons. But the fandom kind of fucking ruined it for me, bro.
Yeah,
Really?
that's fair. That's fair.
Dude, after the whole Szechuan sauce thing, I was just like, this is too much. This is too
Yeah,
much. Like, you guys are
yeah.
out of fucking pocket. Like, calm down. It's a TV show.
It was
Yeah.
pretty cringeworthy, the amount of people that were sort of acting up during the Szechuan
Like,
sauce ordeal.
That's a
The
great
show's-
euphemism for
The show's fun.
saying
like,
acting
it's
like a
just-
shitbag.
Yeah, dude.
know.
It's,
I know.
I see the appeal and I see why it annoys people at the same time. But like,
Mhm.
I tried to watch the 4th season, but I was like, meh.
Yeah, that's fair. Who knows? Maybe I'll give it a fair shake one day, but for now, it's just not really quite my goddamn flavor. I guess we will see one day. Twitch boycott had an impact, guys. This is the day off Twitch movement that we've been talking about for the past few weeks here. Our lovely fellow friend, Wreck-It Raven, little squid family, good Kraken family, has been on the forefront of all this, has been the flagship for all this going on, doing the motherfucking thing. There was a 1 million viewer drop on Twitch day of.
That's significant.
That's a fucking 1/4 of their viewer base was gone.
That's
During
fucking huge.
peak of what usually is peak hours, gone. That means fucking something. It means something. And it will fucking continue on because we need to continue doing things about this bullshit that we keep saying on every goddamn Twitch out there. Fucking congratulations to everyone getting fucking involved with this, doing a movement, doing something that's important. It's not done yet. Keep in touch. You will get updates of like what is going on next. It's gonna be fucking rad to see what's happening in the in the content creator space, if you will. Riot hires ex-Netflix exec to develop original films, TV, and animated shows. That person is Brian Wright. Brian Wright apparently was the like content officer for Netflix and is now the content officer for Riot, who are looking to do movie and animated show adaptations of some of their games. Cool. Yeah,
That's pretty exciting. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where one of the things that drew me to like Valorant in the beginning was kind of like the idea of the fact that there was a lore there. You're just not getting that on the forefront. You're getting that through little snippets of, what certain characters would say if they're on the same team together. And like some of their other like kind of like animated cinematic stuff whenever there's a new character. Like you get little bits and pieces of lore, but nothing actually truly there. So if they were to develop like a Valorant series to actually explore that, that would be really cool to me because that's like the only thing that I still really enjoy about Valorant. I hate the fucking game to death at this point, but the lore, me when it comes to like Destiny, I'm a lore guy. I want to know the story behind it. So that'd be pretty cool.
That's fair. Garrick, do you have any feels on that? I don't know. You kind of had a little bit of a reaction there. I saw. Like, what's your feeling?
I'm interested to see what they do with the animated series stuff, just because, specifically on the League of Legend front, because there's a lot of really cool and interesting characters in League that could like make really successful standalone series that they could push together, or like a group of characters that they could really like center a show around, like specifically with like the countries and stuff that the game kind of has lore wise.
Yeah.
It could be super sick. And I'm wondering if this will help them broker deals with Netflix themselves, because like he used to work for Netflix, so maybe this will help get them into Netflix.
That's fair. That's fair. I could see that. I could see that. I see where you're coming from on this. I don't really have any one feeling or another about this myself. Sure. Like, video game content outside of video games has been getting a little bit better. Like we're seeing some strides in like getting some better content overall, like that are loosely based on source material that is in video games. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Video game content everywhere is good. Because that means more games for us. You know what I mean? And more games is great. Let's fucking go. Except for this little fucking Neilio Dealio that we got going on here. Sony announces a shitty Horizon Forbidden West PS5 upgrade strategy.
Yo, who made that call? Like, for real. Every other game's getting free fucking upgrades, but like you can't even get the actual upgrade pack. Like there's not even an upgrade package that's like a reduced price. You just gotta fucking buy.
I know. Dead Gloom in the chat. What's happening, baby? What's happening? It's dude, like the only thing they have is the deluxe version, which was like the way more high elevated version of the fucking game that you can buy. So it's like the upgrade is behind not just a paywall. It's not like it was just $10. You're paying a marginal price in order to get this fucking game, as well as get the upgrade to PS5. And just the way they're handling it just seems so fucking weird to me. One could argue business be business. Sure. And that's great. But if your business is not following suit with what everybody else is fucking doing, PlayStation keeps making weird fucking moves, dude. I don't get it. I don't get it anymore. I want to back my boys at PlayStation.
I mean, if you ask me, who's Team Xbox, PlayStation been making some weird fucking moves for years, bro.
Yeah.
Years.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
So here's the thing.
And having a history as the elitists of the video game community, thinking that, we're not gonna do crossplay because PS is the better experience. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Garrick, you were gonna jump in for a second. Hit us with that really
fast. Yeah. So like I'm Team PlayStation. Like console wars are fucking stupid first and foremost. But like I own a PlayStation myself. Like I don't have an Xbox One. I played the previous gen on PlayStation and liked it a lot. But yo, why the fuck when Sony does this stuff, the Sony bronies defend it, but when Microsoft does this same kind of shit, it is instantly called out. Like, why does Sony get the free pass?
Yeah.
Like, don't call it their bullshit.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I'm gonna just speak with my eyes at this point and just sit.
Right? Like come on, like just Sony do better.
I know, dude. But one thing that is way better than that, honestly, is Pokemon celebrating its 25th anniversary with a new limited animated series called Pokemon Evolutions. Hell yeah, let's go.
I love Pokemon.
I know, dude. Give me more of that.
Still waiting for more Digimon content, but that's just me.
Yeah, same. Big retweet. I get it. The last movie was phenomenal. It was really, really good. But you know what? Like, Pokemon is doing it. That's fine. I will settle on that. You know what I mean? I will settle on that.
That's fair.
My heart's broken for no Digimon, but
I
know. My heart's also broken because Ghostbusters Afterlife was delayed by 1 week, alongside Top Gun Maverick and Jackass Forever being delayed to 2022.
Man, I was looking forward to Ghostbusters too. Like, I initially, when I heard there's another Ghostbusters movie coming out after the other kind of soft reboot, remake, whatever the fuck that was, I was like, whatever. But then when I finally saw the official trailer, they had no business making that look as good as it does. Like when they're chasing down the ghost down the street, and then she just good, flips out of the fucking car. Even the sound design.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I was just so hyped for that. I mean, 1 week. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. Let's be
Top
real.
Gun Maverick though.
Did we need that? Did we need that? Like, do we need that?
No.
Are we worried about that? I don't know.
No.
Garrick, you're looking a little quiet over there. You got some
Dude,
feelings on this?
I'm sad about Jackass Forever.
I know, me too.
I
I'm a little
wanted to
bummed out
see
by
that
it.
movie,
I
dude.
know. I mean, you know, it's Jackass. It's not like, you know, it's time locked or anything like that. You know, it's fine.
For
We'll
sure.
get it when we get it. You know,
We'll get it.
we'll get it. It'll be a good time. But also, speaking of getting things, Pokemon Go announces its changes after community outcry. So we covered this earlier, I think about a month ago, with Pokemon Go rolling back its 80-meter distance from stops and locations and stuff that they installed during the beginnings of the pandemic. They are ready to roll it back, and there is massive community outroar about getting moved back because people with disabilities, people still not ready to be hanging out in public and stuff. They finally put it back into place. 80 meters across the board is what it's going to be from now on until, you know, X amount of time, what have you. They also added some other small minor changes too, but awesome. Like, they're listening to their player base, and that is what fucking matters. Dead Gloom in the chat says, biggest hype of the century, No Way Home, but also super scared for it being disappointment. Like, there's so much gonna be in this movie. I'm sure we will be talking about that during our Shang-Chi part here in a little bit. Like, just hang tight, Dead Gloom, hang tight. We'll be touching on it. Xander here was talking about this a little bit. Two new South Park movies are coming to Paramount Plus this year. I am so happy.
Don't need it.
I'm so happy.
Don't need it, especially
here's
like they announced that whole deal with Paramount Plus where they got like multiple seasons coming up and movies and video game deals. We don't fucking need it.
I need it. I need it.
I
need
want
it, dude. Let's go. I need it.
That's fair. You guys enjoy it. You guys tell me all about it, and
let's go, Garrick. Let's go, dude.
Don't worry. I'll be sure to take you out to dinner before.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. See, for someone who doesn't like South Park, you sure know a lot about South Park. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, because it's everywhere. It's ingrained into everyone's references.
Dude,
so I have no choice but to like look up that specific episode to understand what the reference is. I'm like, okay, got it. That's fucking stupid. Moving on.
Garrick, what'd you say?
Dude, South Park's a fucking generational phenomenon. Like, it's literally like you can't. It's so good.
That's fair.
Like,
That's fair.
The first movie is like almost perfect. Like, it's so fucking funny.
Here's the deal, though. I can get why someone would not like it, though. You know what I mean? I could get why someone would be so trash that they just don't like something.
I'm a lot more modest, I guess, with my humor.
You and I literally talk about eating each other's asses like on every day. Every day. There's not a modest bone in our bodies.
I fail to see if anyone in chat has any evidence of this. Please let me know. I'll have your people contact my people.
Xander's calling for the receipts. Okay. Xander's calling for the fucking receipts. Okay, sure. Let's move on. Brendan, player unknown Green, leaves PUBG Corp to create new independent studio. There's also been some other updated news talking about how for this new studio, they're talking about trying to make a really vast, ambitious open world sandbox game that has never been done before. Good for him. I knew eventually he would probably fucking move on after, being a big part of the video game industry, kind of really changing the way that they do things with the rise of battle royale modes and what have you. I mean, good for him, dude. Good for him. Life is Strange TV series still in the works with Shawn Mendes now overseeing the music.
That's a weird choice.
It is a weird choice.
It is a weird choice.
It's a weird choice, but
I mean, I'm a fan of Shawn Mendes as a vocalist. Like, he's up there, but for Life is Strange, that is, for lack of a better term, that's a strange choice.
Yeah.
So
very much so. I mean, I think he could. The thing that I've slowly found over being a musician over time is that, like, there's a lot of very big pop musicians that are better musicians than we give them credit for. I mean, like, it's, Fucking what's that girl? God damn it, that song. Um,
You thinking of Kesha?
WAP.
no, well, Kesha too. Yeah, no. I can't remember she's like, I think the song's called Problems. I want to say it's called Problems.
Ariana Grande?
No, other white girl. But she did a song with Linkin Park. I can't remember her name though. Anyways,
Kiara.
Hmm.
yeah, her. So
Oh.
she was a producer for years before she ever put out any solo music. Like she knows what the fuck she's doing,
Yep.
you know, and like that. There's a lot. There's a lot that musicians can have sort of like underneath their covers that we don't really know about. Shawn Mendes could be a fucking production champ, and we wouldn't fucking know it. You know what I mean? Like we would have no fucking idea.
True.
So who knows? We can definitely see. Dead Gloom. What about the Last of Us series? Oh, that's gonna be hype, boys.
Ooh,
Oh,
I
that's
actually
gonna be
have a
hype.
bit of news.
I'm actually
kind of
gonna watch
adjacent to
that.
that.
Oh, you got
There's
a little bit of a
so-
little wave. Okay, what's going on? What's good?
Yeah, so I had read somewhere that Jon Favreau, the guy leading The Mandalorian, he's a little pissed off about the Last of Us series because due to the scheduling and what's his name, Pedro Pascal's schedule for The Last of Us, it's impeding on them going forward with more of the Mandalorian because
Oh,
because so their plan was they're gonna have more of his face shown in this next season
yeah.
of the Mandalorian, but because he's not gonna be really available there for filming and stuff like that, they might have to go reel it back and do more of the helmet on, and then Pedro Pascal just records his voice and then sends it over to them to use. And that Jon Favreau is just pissed off because that's not at all what they wanted to do story wise, considering that he's kind of broken his code by the end of it. Spoiler alert to anyone who hasn't seen The Mandalorian up to this point. But yeah, so that was just something that I read over the past week.
I mean, maybe if he wasn't busy doing really shitty movies like Wonder Woman 1984, then he'd have more time, you know, but that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Well,
Yeah,
his contract
real.
with The Last of Us keeps him like they don't have to allow him to do anything else. Like he's like locked in.
Yeah.
So it's like this whole like legal
But wouldn't he
issue.
have been locked into the Mandalorian's contract before he got locked? Like, how does that supersede his existing contract? That's what's I think is going.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I
I'm
think
sure
is
we're
weird.
we're all just a little bit too ignorant on the movie industry ourselves and
Yeah.
really like know for sure. And obviously there's a lot of logistics, but you know, tight. I guess we will see how things go. Like Jon Favreau has got the shits. I would hope that we get as much Mando face Mando's face, the face of Mando. Yeah, Mando Fando face Dando. In the show that we can possibly get.
Oh,
You're really trying to make that go as long as possible.
Banana Mando.
Mando, Bando, Mando.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, but not as sorry as some fucking morons are telling people that Venom got delayed. Because a new Venom 2 poster confirms October release date after delay rumors. Stupid people. They think they can lie through their teeth. You know what I mean?
I wonder who would have said that. I wonder who would have said that it was delayed. That's weird.
who would have corroborated that story?
I know.
Yeah, that's
Besides,
weird.
so
fucking wild.
I know. Yeah, it's dude, fucking Marvel, man, Marvel fan kids. You know what I mean? Marvel fan kids.
Yeah, what are we gonna do about them?
I'm saying almost as bad as DC fan kids because DC Fandom returns on October 16th. They got a really dope announcement that they did for this. Talking about a new Batman trailer they're gonna do for the show, and more Arkham Knights trailer stuff for the video game. Like there's oh my god, dude, there's gonna be a lot of stuff for DC Fandom. DC Fandom last year was kind of tight too.
There's two things that I'm excited for with this.
Okay.
The Batman trailer.
Yep.
I want more Batman. because everything that I've heard so far for this movie, it's what I want from a Batman film. It's gonna be dark. It's gonna be edgy. It's gonna be rooted in detective stuff. It's gonna feel very true crime from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And then also, I want to see like an official image of Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. I want to see that. It's gonna be
Okay.
epic.
Okay, I see you. I see you. Okay, I like that. I like the way that sounds. Garrick, you look like you're gonna hop in, my guy. You got something on this?
Yeah,
Does it do that for you?
dude. I really, really just want to see more stuff about. I'm super stoked for Gotham Knights and for the Suicide Squad game.
Ooh,
Like, I
dude,
want
it
to,
looks hype. It
dude.
looks hype.
Like, I need Suicide Squad gameplay like so badly, especially King Shark.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's a
Burn.
flavor now, dude,
Burn.
and he's gonna be like
Friend. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be
bird,
Yeah, where's Josh? Where's Josh with his random bird?
bird.
Yeah, dude, and it's rad too because like if they even make it relatively, like kind of based in the movie somewhat, even if it just has similar humor style, like
Yeah, just
imagine how
parallel it.
good that game could possibly be. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean the most
Mhm.
recent one, not the last bullshit that we
Yes.
had. That fucking nightmare that we got. Oh my god, dude. Boys, do you guys have any other little waves you want to talk about real quick before we move into our second segment here?
Let me see. I'm looking out on the horizon.
Yeah.
Looks like. Yeah, no, I don't see any waves going.
Okay,
Uh-uh.
yeah,
No.
nothing.
Garrick, you?
Nothing.
No, I don't think so. Nothing
right,
off the
all
top of the old dome.
Sounds good. Yeah, there was a lot. That was a lot there. Kind of just jammed as much new shit as it possibly could come in here with, and whew, it's good. All right, last little thing here, guys. We got our second segment, our hands-on segment. Usually we would talk a game and a movie, or a game and a show, or a movie and a show, or a movie and a movie, or a game and a game, or a show and a show. Today, we're just doing one for each of us. Garrick, what did you play or watch this week?
So I spoke about it a little bit on Tuesday's episode, but I just recently picked up Golf Club Wasteland, and I've been playing that a little bit. I'm not too overly far into it.
Okay.
It's a little shorter than shorter. It's a little shorter of a game than I thought it would be. It's only got 35 levels.
Yep. Yep.
It ramps up like really quickly though. Like I think I'm on like level 8, and like it's like one of the holes was like a par 12, and it's like really kind of platformy golf. Atmospherically, it's a really cool game. So basically, your character is from Tesla City on Mars. And
you're
it is
Elon. Your name's Elon.
and basically like the earth is like a destroyed piece of shithole because we ruined it, and now like it's the entire planet's a golf course for the uber rich. And
Did you
so
say
you
this
get
is
down
a
on the planet.
game? Did you say this is a game or a documentary? It sounds like a documentary.
No,
I
this is a
think-
premonition. This is a
Yeah,
premonition.
Yeah.
It came to
But
him.
what's yeah, in a dream.
Mhm.
Dude, the thing that's super sick about it is like there's like this little radio program that plays in the background while you're like going through the holes, and it's kind of like this. It's kind of got like this NPR sort of feel to it, like it's really vibey and kind of relaxing. And if you complete the holes within a certain number of like strokes, then you get like these little journal entries, and there's like a little story like going on about like it's either from the perspective of somebody who's watching your golfer from like the outside of the golf course, and it's like this it's kind of cool. It's like they've got like this really tragic sort of history, like, and basically like this radio station's it's dedicated to like the nostalgia of what it used to be like to live on Earth. It's a very atmospheric kind of like definitely zen vibey sort of game. I'm really excited to get further into it. It's kind of cool.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, like, because even just like looking at the trailers and stuff that me and Garrick looked at before, platforming golfing, like it looks so peaceful and serene, and that was kind of like what I was like, oh, it looks pretty. I like it. I like that.
It does channel that really well. It's only $10 too. Like that's its full price.
Okay.
It's $10.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go. There you go. Xander, what have you been playing or watching, my guy?
So I'm gonna go with something that I've been watching. Garrick actually kind of touched on this on the last one, and I kind of popped in on chat, but he mentioned The Way of the House Husband. But I've been watching The Ingenuity of the House Husband, which is
Yes.
the live action version of that. And it's like the only thing I can really equate it to is almost like a Japanese version of Mr. Bean in a way, to where it's just like, but it's all wrapped around, like little things that happen around the household, and he just goes and fixes it. But then obviously there's something that goes wrong, and he's just like, oh shit, like kind of like that Mr. Bean vibe. And
So
there's no real like.
for our listeners and viewers at home, real quick. So we mentioned Way the House Husband. What is Way the House Husband, and what is Ingenuity the House Husband in comparison for the people who don't know at home?
So The Way of the House Husband was basically this ex Yakuza guy decides to settle down, and he uses his skills from his past life to help him as a house husband, making him the all encompassing master of house husbandry. That's the best way I can explain that.
Okay.
And so each episode, there are different things. Like one, he's replacing the paper on one of his windows, because he's a traditional Japanese house with the paper and the frame and stuff like
Right.
that. And it just makes it seem so like super epic the way he does it. And then he's like, there's no way I could possibly mess this up. And then wide shot, he messed it up. And he's like, it's also got kind of like, for some reason I get kind of like the Bob Ross Zen vibe watching like the first portion of it.
Right.
And then it gets like super epic with the music. I'm just like, oh my god, what's happening? Oh man, that's a really bad stain. How's he gonna get that out? And then he like breaks down the science behind the stain. He's like, okay, so if I use this, that, and the other thing prior to putting it in the wash, it should get the stain out. Yeah, we're gonna do that. And it's just the way it goes about it. It makes you turn your brain off.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, it's almost like, and this is gonna sound kind of contradictory and a little weird,
Okay.
but it's like, imagine like really aggressive ASMR.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm picking up from what you guys are
Kind of,
saying.
yeah. Like I don't know why, but I'm like hooked on it.
It's so good for some reason.
So does Ingenuity of the House Husband like sort of follow suit in the same way, or is it like? Yeah, even it being live action.
Yeah, it's basically the same exact thing, except it's live action.
Yeah.
Like as I was watching, I'm like, yeah, this is the same. So I think I don't want to call it an anime. It's more like a motion comic.
Okay.
The Way of the House Husband, the way that's set up, there is a little bit more of like backstory involved. I feel like, because there's like a moment where I think he was going to the store or something like that, and he gets pulled over by the cops, and they're like kind of like recognize him. They're like, wait a minute. Hold on, aren't you? He's like,
Which
no,
that happens like every episode. They're like, isn't that the immortal dragon? And then it's like, and then chaos ensues.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god,
it's hilarious. It's definitely worth a watch. It's one of those things where it's so different that you just have to check it out. At least just one episode, just to see it for yourself. It's an experience. It's not a show. It's an experience.
Okay, well, I think you guys have talked about it enough now that I'm pretty much sold on it. So I'll give that a shot this weekend and let you guys know. In the meantime, I played a game called Lake. That came out just a couple of days ago. Yeah. It is just as serene as you guys talking about Way of the House Husband in a very just turn off your mind and do it sort of way. So this game is a third person, basically like mailman sim with a story. And so you play as a woman named Meredith Weiss, who's a like 35-year-old woman, whose dad asks if she can come back home and temporarily take over his job as the local mailman of a town in Oregon, called like West Providence or something like that. It's like a lake town. And so that he can go on vacation with his wife. And so she comes in and is just basically for a week is being the local mailman. And essentially she's trying to decide if she wants to stay here and live out the rest of her life, or if she wants to move back to her business life in New York, basically. And yeah, you are playing out this 1 week window of being a mailman and meeting the people in town and like just building relationships and having discussions, and like the controls in it feel very much like Grand Theft Auto. I'm in a car. Like the controls and everything are just Grand Theft Auto driving controls. And when you're walking around, she's just calmly walking around. There's real nice ambient music. You can turn on a radio in your mailman truck. You actually are using a like map with like GPS to help you find all the houses. You're literally parking the truck. If you're delivering mail, you just walk up to their mailbox and hit E and deliver the mail. If they have a package, you go to the back of your truck, grab the package out, put it on the doorstep.
I'm seeing a connection here. I
don't want to play this,
dude.
Why are you playing a sim for your actual life, asshole?
Listen. In a weird way,
I thought it.
in a weird way. All right, for our listeners and viewers at home, on my day job, I'm a FedEx driver. In a weird way, it is what I wish my job was. So it feels like sort of a bit of an escape.
So you wish you were a 35-year-old woman?
Yes. Yeah.
Delivering mail.
Yeah. Delivering mail in a small town in Oregon.
In a little lake town in Oregon.
That's exactly it. Yeah. That's exactly it.
I love that.
It is a very calming, wholesome game. For sure. It is very just kind of like you're just going through the motions, like just feeling out what it's like to be a mailman. You just and like each like level, because you're virtually just kind of like doing a route each day of the week, is a different day of the week. And then you have basically conversations with some of the people that you're doing deliveries to, like main characters. And you have to make decisions on how you're interacting with them. So for example, one of the customers, I guess you could say, that I delivered to was an old cat lady. And in talking to her, being like, "Oh, hey, I'm here. I was, Jerry's daughter or whatever." It's like, "Oh my God, I haven't shown you in years, sweetie." Like that bullshit. The old lady's being very standoffish, and you have a choice if you want to be standoffish as well, or if you want to try to be passive and just like, "All right, well, see you later," and try to like get out of there. I'm assuming, I don't know where that leads to because I've only played about 4 hours of it so far. I'm not sure exactly where it leads to. I'm assuming that because there's choices, it could potentially determine what kind of outcomes you'll have in the greater spectrum of the game. I'm excited to see. I'll follow up with you guys on it, but it is a very calm, fun game. It's just chill, deliver mail, go back to the post office. Like, it is very much a mailman simulator. And you're not doing like a bunch of fucking stops. It's like maybe 10. And you're just
plot
driving
twist.
around.
Your dad's actually the devil and you're delivering souls to all the demons of hell.
I hope. Dude, honestly, I love when calm, mellow games like this have a real fucked up ending. Like Bugsnax.
That's how Oxenfree was for me.
Yeah.
Dude, Firewatch.
Dude. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Like, I love when games fucking do that. I hope there's something going on. I hope there's something low key here. Now I'm excited to play the rest of this fucking game. It's gonna be great. But I'm also excited, boys, to finally talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 fucking Rings. Boys, let's fucking go. Let's give this goddamn movie a hand. God damn, dude.
Yes,
woo,
absolutely.
Son. Everyone at home, we are going to be giving you our Shang-Chi review after we had finally seen it the other night, last night, what have you. We are finally talking about it here. So the way this is going to work, we're going to do spoiler free first. Okay. We'll probably spend 20-30 minutes on spoiler free. Okay. And then get into spoilers. We will let you know once we're in spoilers. Okay. Just to let everybody know, we will let you fucking know once we get there. Just so none of you guys at home get fucked up about it or whatever. You can still hear what we have to say about our general thoughts, and kind of give it to you from there. So let's go ahead and get started, my boys. Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings, released on September 3rd, 2021, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, runtime of 2 hours and 12 minutes. The budget of somewhere between 140 and 150 mil. They haven't exactly dropped numbers on it yet, but, we'll see. In a box office opening night worldwide of $8.8 million. And it's only going up from there. That was just Thursday night. They haven't dropped more numbers yet because it was just a little bit too soon last night. Dude, like, it's so fucking exciting. Oh my god, I'm so stoked. Some fun facts for you guys, and I dropped some pretty juicy ones here after doing some studying last night. In the late 1980s, Stan Lee had considered a film and TV series about Shang-Chi and had in mind Brandon Lee, son of martial arts superstar Bruce Lee, for the role. Shang-Chi was visually based on BruceLee, so Brandon seemed a fitting choice, but the plan fell through. I wonder if that had anything to do with The Crow. Do you think that had anything to do with The Crow? I don't know.
No, because you said late 1980s. Crow was 90s,
that was early
right?
90s.
If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That would have been really cool to see, though.
That would have been.
Honestly.
That would have been.
It would have been an interesting take on the character for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been fitting for him. He would have fucking killed him, my guy. Tony
Oh, yeah.
Shu Wai Lung knew nothing about the Mandarin and did not try to research the character. When Marvel Studios contacted him, they gave him full authority to make his own history of the character. He was given the script a month before filming, and he did not mind playing a villainous role, his first ever, but he sought to give the character depth and history, saying, quote, "I tried to explore the reasons that led him to become who he is. He's a man with history who craves to be loved. He's a sociopath, a narcissist, and a bigot, but he's also human and has a family." Dude, he fucking killed it. He fucking killed it.
Yeah, he definitely killed it.
yeah.
And knowing that that played out very well in the movie. Knowing that he kind of took that extra step as to not, base it off of the original Mandarin and kind of bring his own character to it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm reformulating some of my thoughts right now.
I know,
I
dude.
didn't know that.
Dude, it and it's wild too because Tony Leung has been an actor for about 35, 40 years, dude. Like, he's almost 60 years old. Like, he is almost 60 years old. And this man has been dubbed like the best actor in China. Period. Like, he is a god in China as far as like Hollywood is concerned. And the fact that they got him in this to play a villain for the first fucking time, dude, he fucking nailed. Oh, we'll get into it. Donnie Yen was considered for the role of the Wenwu Mandarin before Tony Leung was cast. Imagine Donnie Yen as Wenwu instead. That would have been weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, because I've seen Donnie Yen as a villain. Most notably, Shanghai Knights is what I remember.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I like Donnie Yen as a villain, especially in a role like this. I don't know.
Like more maniacal than like scheming.
Like if they're gonna introduce Donnie Yen into the MCU, in fact, actually, I think Donnie Yen would have been perfect for the Ancient One, in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Definitely,
I felt like
missed the mark on that one. But
Garrick,
I feel like he would have Donnie Yen would have almost not intentionally, but I felt like the way like his acting style, like the way he kind of does, his character types he plays would have almost come off as corny.
Yeah,
as the Mandarin. I feel like just because of some of the roles, he's a good villain and he's got a good range, but I don't know. I really like Tony.
I did too. I can see where you're coming from. It would have felt a little bit more like on the nose as far as Donnie Yen playing as him, because he kind of just like Donnie Yen is more stoic in his stature when he's playing as any character. I feel like in any of the movies that he's in, and Wenwu in this was not really like he was, but he wasn't. Like he was more like standoffish and like forefront about his shit. Like he wasn't just like some stoic like, oh, you don't know what I know, like sort of thing. Like that wasn't him, and it worked for him. You know what I mean? So it would have been cool, 100%. But I'm glad that they didn't. Michelle Yeoh is the second actor to get a double role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Gemma Chan for Captain Marvel and Eternals. Yo had previously played Aleta O'Gord in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Laura Haddock had also had a bit part in Captain America before playing Peter Quill's mother. Tight. I love it. I love when they do shit like this.
Love to see it.
Ang Lee was going to produce the film in the early 2000s until the negative critical and fan reaction to his Hulk 2003 adaptation. So glad we dodged that bullet.
Yeah, that was.
Boy,
it received that negative critical and fan reaction justifiably.
Oh boy, thank God for that. Tim Roth returns to the role of Emil Blonsky / Abomination 13 years after 2008's The Incredible Hulk, although he only did the grunts and roars for the character and wasn't actually present on set during the cage match. Still tight.
It was tight. I'm glad they updated the way he looked too.
Same. And I wonder how they're going to sort of play with like how, like, do you think they're going to write that in, or do you think they're just going to play it off?
I want there to be something deeper there between him and Wong. I want, please God, some sort of buddy cop movie with Abomination.
For sure.
Oh my gosh.
My curiosity is, do you think they're going to try to write in some explanation for why he looks different than he did in the original?
They've already went on record. They've already went on record stating that I think he was actually from the director himself.
Okay.
To where he just stated it's just evolution over time.
Okay, sick.
I'll accept it.
So he wasn't in full form. He wasn't in his final form back then. Okay.
It wasn't my final form.
Fool. So last little tidbit here. One of the names Wenwu says he has been known throughout the centuries is Master Khan. In the comics, Master Khan is the arch nemesis of Iron Fist. And I'm watching season 2 of that right now. Actually, it's pretty fucking hype. Let's fucking go, boys. Let's do it. Garrick, let's start with you, my guy. What are your top-down general thoughts on Shang-Chi?
It is probably my biggest takeaway that I loved about this film from start to finish was, oh my God, the visual direction.
Oh my God.
And the choreography was so top notch. Like, if you have not seen Shang-Chi yet, like, just the way it plays out visually looks as stunning today as Avatar did when it was first released.
Oh my God.
Like, I felt like it had the same impact visually. Like, oh my God. I can't get over the visual effects. I could not get over the visual effects, that whole film. That was like, it just, that and the fight scenes in the choreography. Yeah. So just so beautiful. Such a beautiful film.
Yeah, dude. Keep it going though. I want to hear more on like how you're feeling about this movie. Kind of dump it on us. Like, you give us your whole review on what you feel about this fucking masterpiece that we just got hit with.
So I went pretty blind in on this one. I basically only saw any trailers that they released as I didn't do any research on the character. I knew nothing about Shang-Chi's like comic book history. I wanted to just take in who he was going to be in the MCU because I knew it was going to be different, because I know that comic book was a product of its time basically, and like kind of stereotypy, I hear.
Of course. Yes.
But I was initially super surprised and also like really, really excited that it kind of gave off the vibe as like a foreign film initially. Like, it really did. And I liked that it leaned into that in some aspects. I loved the dual language aspect of the film, like, a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, I'm not bilingual at all, but like, I found that I was just like, this is how this should be for like any film that represents multiple cultures. Like, that was the right way to go about it. And I felt like there was just like so many of the characters were just like so well portrayed. I loved Katie and Trevor were some of my favorites for like, they're just awesome characters. I'm having a hard time like getting it out exactly why I love this film. It just felt complete. Like, the story, like, it just felt like it was everything it needed to be for this character. Like this was probably the best origin story Marvel's ever done.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Like in my opinion, like it just the character was fleshed out. All of the characters felt human. They had that key Marvel like MCU comedy, but they did it in such a way that like they pushed away stereotypes while also embracing a really modern like like they're just like all right, like we're just gonna ignore everything that was existing in those comics and make the appropriately modern like character, that was Chinese and a superhero, and he like it's just they just crushed it. You know what I'm saying? Like they just really it just felt so. I don't know. I'm having a hard time, I guess, getting it out, but it just felt so complete.
I get you. I get you, dude. Xander, what are your spoiler-free general top-down thoughts on Shang-Chi and the Legend?
So we talked about this a little bit before. I had to get my thoughts on to paper, or in this case, a Google Doc. So I went ahead and I just typed it out. But basically, what I want to pick on the importance of this film, especially for AAPI individuals. The biggest thing that hit me watching this movie was the fact that I'm looking at a superhero that looked like me for the first time. Like that wasn't associated with, Ip Man or stuff like that.
Yep.
Like this is a mainstream movie that the majority is going to see. And he looks like me. He looks like you. He looks like my brother. He looks like my family, and as my friend Coop suggested to me last night, he was in chat earlier, Stoop Ghost, this is what Black Panther was for him.
Yes.
For me.
Yes.
There were so many moments throughout the movie that literally I was tearing up because like I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that, I finally live in an age where like, kids like me who were growing up confused about, their heritage and stuff like that in a world that a lot of times represses, that heritage. We have something to look up to. The one part that actually I immediately almost started bawling was there's some dialogue with Shang-Chi's aunt, Ying Nan, played by Michelle Yeoh. And I'm paraphrasing it here, but she mentions, I know who I am. Do you? And then stuff like, you are a product of everyone who came before you, the good and the bad. You are your mother, but you're also your father. Make it your own, essentially. And that, like, I was just like, I'm trying not to like tear up right now.
It fucked me up so bad. I get it.
It's one of those things because, like, growing up half white, half Thai, I have memories of, and though my father he's come a long way in repealing his old ways of thinking. But hearing my mom tell me, like, early on, my dad said he didn't want me to learn Thai at an early age because we're in America. And other little aspects of my life growing up where I felt like that Thai heritage was being repressed. I grew up confused, not really understanding who I was as an individual and what my heritage really was. Like, I remember filling out paperwork and marking off like white and other. Like, I was just like, I don't really understand it. And it was one of those things where, like, now I like, it's something that I can truly, accept and be proud of. And I have a role model that will be pushing that envelope to everyone else out there that may be confused or repressed in some way, shape, or form. And whether or not that, that was an intentional theme or just something that drummed up in my own brain watching it, that's going to resonate with me forever, thanks to this movie. Yeah. And so that's one thing that that I wanted to point out. But for the movie itself, holy shit. The action scenes are the action scenes are top notch.
Oh my god.
The fight choreography is arguably the best I've seen, not just in a Marvel property, but just in movies in general. Some of the best choreography I've seen to date. And it gave that vibe that it's not like the standard, oh, they're assassins, but kind of your cookie cutter like fight choreography, bop bop bop. Oh, you see those movies and you're like, they're supposed to be assassins, like stormtroopers,
right?
Aren't you supposed to be like really good at shooting, but you're missing every fucking shot? But this one, you actually believed that these guys were the real deal because they're throwing punches in milliseconds. This is insane. But it
Yeah.
also bodes well to show that Shang-Chi is easily the best fighter in the Marvel Cinematic in the Marvel universe. I'll say in the entire, even the comics.
Yeah.
The entire Marvel universe. He
Yeah.
is the best fighter, and it really shows that very well through the choreography. Ultimately, I thought it was enjoyable start to finish. The comedy that Garrick touched on, it didn't feel forced like a lot of previous Marvel movies, except
Yes.
with the exception of one character, which I will save for the spoiler talk. That is one slight grievance I have with the movie. But other than that, like everything was great. Simu Liu, or Liu Sumu, is I believe the proper pronunciation of his name. If
Yes.
not, Simu King, let me know.
Tweet at us.
Educate
Tweet
me.
at us.
He executed it perfectly. Especially seeing him come from a sitcom to a major Marvel film that's
Right.
easily gonna make him a household name. Granted, I mean, Kim's Convenience definitely prepped him pretty well because even though it was a sitcom, it wasn't without its dramatic moments. But still, it's like one of those things where it was kind of low key. Not many people really knew about it, and then now it's just boom, MCU, fucking kill it. He absolutely nailed it, and I just cannot wait to see more of him because he is easily a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, you guys nailed it. You guys nailed it, man. Like God, I don't even know where to start with this fucking movie, dude. Like I don't even like this movie was such a golden gem that dudes like me and Xander have been waiting for a really long time. Like this movie gave us everything that we were hoping they would give us with Wong. In 1-2 hour experience that was so bombacious and beautifully done, beautifully coordinated, beautifully like put together from front to fucking finish, dude. Like this movie was so unabashedly Asian in so many ways that it just worked for what it was trying to do. This movie is more Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon or The Last Kingdom than an MCU property. And it's sprinkled with just enough Marvel in order for it to fit the greater Marvel universe. But it still fucking works. It all fucking works together to give us this experience that just feels fucking right. They leaned into how Asian it is. Like Garrick was saying, they leaned into sort of like the feeling of like this could be stereotypical, but because we're leaning into and owning it and owning like what it is in order for the Asian community to just take it back, worked so fucking well in this damn movie. And it's not ham-fisted. Just like Xander was saying, it's not too on the nose. It's not entirely just up front in your face. It feels like Asians wrote this movie. Asians produced this movie, and it feels right. Like in there's so many parts in this movie that are so Asian American. There's so many parts of this movie that are so just Asian, like foreign Asian. There's so many parts of this movie that are just straight up Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon choreography, like period.
Yeah.
And it worked so fucking beautifully. And then everything going on, the third act of the movie is just so crazy and wild and out there that it made it fit in the MCU. And so it felt like it was a superhero movie that we wanted it to be. Dude, Simu Liu, this fucking king, this goddamn king had delivered us a Shang-Chi that I don't think we could have gotten in any other way, to be completely honest with you. I cannot believe he had these chops. I can't believe he had these chops, dude. Like,
can you believe it started with a tweet?
Exactly. Like
way back when, long before this ever happened, he tweeted, "Hey, so Marvel, we gonna talk about Shang-Chi?"
Yeah.
And then he posted a follow-up. He was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, dude.
Oh, snap.
Well, about that, like, it's oh my god, man, he fucking nailed it. Aquafina was awesome. I'm not usually very fond of her in a lot of the movies that she's in, but she fucking killed it in this. She was
I thought
great.
she killed it in Raya too.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Dude, there wasn't a single character that I thought in this movie was like particularly weak I know, I know, and we'll get there. Tony Leung as Wenwu. Oh, like one of
There's so
my
much depth.
dude, one of my favorite villains in the MCU now. Like one of my like
Mhm.
top 5, arguably. I'd maybe say,
Mhm.
dude, oh my god, he was incredible. Like he had so much depth, he had so much edge to his
So much
character.
heart.
And yeah, exactly. And enough heart to do so in order for his character to just feel real. It felt real. Like it wasn't just like, oh, he's pissed off and angry to be pissed off and angry. Like he wasn't just pissed off and angry. He was also full of grief. He was full of grief because the woman he loved is lost. You know, he had to take care of his kids. Like there's so many things that come with his character to have to unpack. That was just phenomenal. Now, on my own personal connection to this movie, because I want to touch on this for being someone who's AAPI myself, this movie struck some strings for me, front to fucking back. The moment the movie opens, again, spoiler free, I don't want to dive too far into it, but the moment the movie opens, and within 3 minutes of this movie, I was like, let's go. I know exactly what the fuck we're doing here. They set it up so beautifully in such a way that I could immediately feel that personal connection and be like, okay, I see what they're trying to do with this, and I'm here for the fucking ride. I'm here for the fucking ride. And there's parts later on that are more personal to Shang and Katie that feels so Asian in a way that I'm able to sort of like relate on a much deeper level to it. That again, like I mentioned earlier, that we were hoping we would get with Wong. And Wong is kind of, you know, he's not your usual Asian guy. He's a magician. So it's like that's not quite the exact same thing. Whereas Shang-Chi and Katie are San Francisco Asian Americans, which is arguably what most modern Asian Americans sort of culture is like these days. You know, and the family dynamic was a really important key that I was hoping that they touch on, and they did. Um, I think my favorite part of this movie was that they used Asian culture and family relationships to teach lessons in this movie. So now we have a situation where Asian kids, Asian children that are watching the MCU movies are going to be able to see these characters in this movie that look like their family, that look like them, that look like their friends, and be able to say, I'm actually learning something from this. Because as you mentioned, Xander, this is our Black Panther. And it worked so beautifully well in doing that. And there was just so many different parts of this that struck a string for me. I'm taking my mom and my baby sister to go see this next week because it's that important. I know they're going to fucking love it. And there were so many moments I wanted to cry that I was like near fucking open mouth sobbing during parts. And even Devin can attest for it. There were so many times that I was a fucking mess during this movie. They fucking nailed it, boys. They nailed it. Dude, I can't fucking believe it. Garrick, give me your out of 10 rating on Shang-Chi, and should people watch it?
I'm gonna give this one a solid 9, and absolutely, it is like this film has something for everybody, like genre wise, culturally, as a fan of the MCU. Like this is this film was like monumentous, and it if you don't want to believe me, literally just go look at its fucking Rotten Tomatoes score. 92% and 99%. Like critics and fans never agree. This film is bussin'.
Bussin', bro. Bussin'. Xander, rating, and should people watch it?
Rating. I'm gonna go 9.2.
Oh,
Or just give it an extra 0.2 just because of that personal bias. But should you watch it? If you're asking that, if you've seen anything about Shang-Chi and you've heard us or just heard other people talk about it, and you're still questioning whether or not you should watch it, you should have watched it like last week. Like,
Yeah, like
I
you
don't.
should have found a way to go see it before it's released.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
Period.
there's no question. You go fucking see it. Just go see it.
Go see this damn movie. Yeah, I'm giving this a 9.5, a 9.5 out of 10. Period. Like arguably more. This is one of the best Marvel properties we've gotten so far.
Yes.
End of story. Like
Hands
this
down.
easily. Like and we're not even just saying that because we're Asian. Like we're not even just saying that because this is genuinely a good Marvel movie. Like genuinely a good fucking Marvel movie. The character relationships, the plot arc, the way they introduce characters, the way they go about relationships between the characters, the way they utilize flashbacks, everything about this fucking movie is goddamn gold. And we did not need huge bombacious fucking pieces of fight scenes and action in order to get there. It was not entirely necessary. And they fucking nailed it, dude. Yes, go fucking see this damn movie, guys. This is like absolutely a necessity. Like, see this fucking yesterday, period. Now, before we move into spoilers, I want to go ahead and read off reviews from obviously Genesee, who is our usual person we have for our Marvel content, and Devin. Neither of them are here today. I want to read off their quick reviews that they sent to me to read off onto the show. Just some brief thoughts. We went and saw it on Thursday night together. It was dope. It was a fucking good time. So Genesee says, what I enjoyed the most was the fact that Shang-Chi brought this fantastical world to life without leaving behind the hero. Shang-Chi brought something to the classic Marvel origin story that we haven't really seen in the MCU, and that is a vibe that feels closer to the Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings movies. It brought to life a fantastical world with creatures and powers that felt more synonymous with magic and spirituality than the classic superhero vibes Marvel leans into. Now, Genesee doesn't usually give off ratings, so I didn't ask her to do that. But Genesee loved it. Genesee fucking loved it too. Devin says, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is a fantastical kung fu epic. It embraces Asian culture and represents so much in being the first major Marvel Studios film with a lead Asian superhero, and it does not disappoint. From cohesive action sequences, beautiful set pieces, and great character building, Shang-Chi was a wildly fun ride from start to finish and stays strong throughout the whole movie with no dip in engagement. One of my favorite tropes of the movie was that Marvel Studios has to offer, one of my favorite tropes that Marvel Studios has to offer is their comedic subtleties, and Shang-Chi does not fall far from that tree. The movie is widely important and is one of the best MCU origin stories to date, and the first MCMV origin story we have had since the finale of Loki. And also makes you stay for those 2 post-credit scenes. Welcome to the circus. Devin gives it a flat 10 out of 10 on his end. Dude, he was in it. He was in the fucking ride, my guy. He was in the ride. Everyone, please, at home, go see this fucking movie. We are now going to move into full spoiler territory here for the last 30 minutes of this fucking show. If you have not seen this movie, get out, watch the movie, come back and listen to the last 30 minutes of it. We will be here. This will be here ready and available for you to listen to after you go check this out. All right. We love you. Get out of here. We're talking Shang-Chi spoilers right now. Garrick, give it to us. Spill the fucking beans, my guy. What's up? What'd you love about this fucking movie?
Oh, fucking buddy. Like, can we just talk about, like, I don't know, the entire goddamn last 45 minutes?
Oh my god!
Film
Let's
as
go!
a whole?
Let's go!
Okay. So, like, I initially went, and I'm gonna try my best. Don't expect perfection from names.
That's
I'm
fine.
not a
That's fine.
linguist.
I got it. We got you.
But
We got
like,
you.
so I believe Tao Lao. I'm interested to see how they're gonna bridge Tao Lo.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how they're gonna kind of bridge that, because initially when I heard it come up, I was just like Tao Lo. I was like Kung Lung. I was like, you know, like
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we've got. I'm interested to see if maybe we can get some Iron Fist that's not whack in the future.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But yeah, dude, the way they made Wenwu the character that he was without just simply being Shang-Chi's vessel to greatness was my favorite part of the whole film.
Oh,
Yep.
God,
Like dude, like I felt it. You could tell like his character had some shit he needed to work through. Like especially that last little bit when he was just like when he told Shang-Chi he was just like your mother's dead because of you. I was just like, dude, how long have you been holding that in?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that shit that you needed to work out, that like you couldn't forgive your son for the way that he acted, even though he was just a child. You know, like he's like such a flawed protagonist and such a flawed antagonist. And like, oh, dude, I just I loved their story, and that you could tell he was just like, I know, he's a sociopath and he wanted power, but he like genuinely tried to change, and then he did. He gave it his all. He's just like, I'm gonna throw it away for love, and I live for that shit because I'm a hopeless romantic myself.
I love it.
But like,
yes.
But I was just like, dude, and then he was just like, fuck you, universe. I tried, and you stole it from me.
Yep.
And like the fact that you can tell he carries that. His character carries that so well. And then he was just like that. He was so bound by his own grief. He couldn't see that, like, he couldn't see literally, like, you had to know deep down that like he knew that wasn't her. But he was so controlled by his loss that he was just like
desperate.
The fact that this is most likely not her, you're just like, I have to try. And like that's what I think made the Dweller in the Darkness like a great true antagonist for this film, because it was able to tap into the thing that he absolutely wanted the most and use it against him.
Yep.
And dude, I loved it. And like, I'm so curious as to see what the 10 rings themselves are gonna, how they're gonna fall into phase 4, because we don't know what they are or where they come from, or like they're a mystery to, like, you know, the clan of sorcerers and to Captain Marvel, who is like arguably one of the most knowledgeable and most powerful beings in the universe.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know, that's a chin scratcher right there. There's just so much going on. Like I just what a good movie, man.
Dude,
like
I know. I feel it, dude. Like I love that your sort of like key focus there is how remarkable of a villain Wenwu was, because he was, right? Like Wenwu was like easily like one of the most like emotionally powerful, emotionally driven villains we've had thus far, because he's so grounded in such a reality that a lot of villains that we see in the MCU, we don't really get that from. Like we've had snippets of it, you know, like we've had obviously villains that we were able to sort of like attach ourselves to in a way that's like, you know, we have all talked about Thanos is arguably right. You know, like we've had those conversations. Like this is the first time I've ever felt this deeply for an MCU villain. What's up, Garrick?
So I have a theory as to why Wenwu's character is like, why this works with him. So because you mentioned, you know, like everybody kind of has like that thing where like they can kind of relate to Thanos. So Thanos, like, this is why what I feel sets them apart. Thanos was a villain first, and then human second. Wenwu was human first and a villain second.
Yes. Well, I mean, kind of. He was a villain, and then a human, and then a villain. Yeah, but I see what you mean.
But like they did such a like they you know, like they described who he was at first, but like he was so like to be so willing to change after you know, being who he was for so long, you know, like just being so willing. He's like, I'm just like, yeah, let's do the thing. I'll give it all up for you. And like, he might be my favorite MCU villain.
Honestly,
like I really
because it's just like
wow.
Imagine losing the love of your life. Imagine that period, right? Imagine losing your wife, and everything that you built your life upon is now through the fucking floor. and you have kids to take care of. There's only two choices you can make: is continue on or to dwell, and he chose to dwell. And it's such a beautiful piece of of social commentary as far as like how we handle grief. And that's one of my favorite themes in most content, is how people handle grief. That's a big part of why I love the Last of Us series. Like it's seeing that in a character that feels so real and how they would handle something like that was unimaginably wonderful. Like, I could not believe that they handled it this well. Xander, I want to hear from you, dude. What are some of your thoughts on some shit that happened in this movie? Let's go into it, my dude.
There's a couple things that you guys that I want to comment on. Actually, first was the fact that it's looking like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is definitely focusing heavily on grief. We saw that with WandaVision. We saw that with Falcon and Winter Soldier. We've seen it pretty much with everything thus far.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form. So we're probably going to see more of it coming up. And I also want to mention that you mentioned, imagine being in that position of Wenwu during that flashback scene when he goes and tracks down the Iron Gang, which also I think is a nice little nod to the fact that the Mandarin's arch nemesis was Iron Man. Maybe that's just the connection that I'm pulling out of my ass, but
yeah, sure.
I literally leaned over to Jackie, my wife. I leaned over to her. I was like, to be totally honest, I would have done the same for you.
Let's be real, honestly, dude. Let's be real.
A fucking blood debt is paid in blood, my friend.
Exactly.
Yep. Let's go.
But no, like, speaking on that, like the final like climactic event that was the end of the movie. Can we just talk about how epic it all was? Like, dude, the fighting,
Final Fantasy
going up against the Dweller like that,
dude. Oh my god, dude. I could feel me and Devin be like, oh, like the entire time, dude. Oh, mega hype. Hype.
And the biggest thing for me was the Great Protector, the dragon. I was under the influence, like, from seeing the trailers and stuff like that. I thought that he was gonna like land in the water and have like some kind of like the Great Protector was gonna talk to him telepathically and kind of like help him, accept some sort of thing or whatever. And then he goes on to fight. No, he's riding the fucking dragon.
He rides
into battle.
The fucking dragon, dude.
Oh my god! I was trying so hard not to just geek out because I'm in a whole new world here with moviegoers. Where back then I remember going to see Endgame with other like-minded people, and we were just shouting the entire fucking time and jumping up for joy. Meanwhile, I got Susie Q right next to me. That's like on her phone, like live tweeting the fucking movie. Like, put your fucking phone down. Yeah. But anyway, I had to contain myself a little bit. But it was just so, oh my god, I was not and like when he finally like he deploys the rings and he's falling from the sky, and all of a sudden he's just like
that wide shape. Oh my god, dude!
That was like I have goosebumps just remembering it.
Oh my god, the mega
that
hype,
easily
dude.
The most hype moment.
Yeah, it's dude. They. The entire listen, okay, we're all aware enough that we can admit that final acts in the MCU are a 50-50 shot. They are very much like a 50-50 chance of just completely dumping the entire movie on his back end. And this final act,
Dark World.
Yeah, exactly. Iron Man 3's third act was ooh, yikes. There's dude, this entire third act was such the butter on the fucking toast for this goddamn movie, dude. Like, I was, oh my god. They just went from 0 to fucking 60. Like, the second that, like,
not even 60, he went the full 100.
The full 100.
Went the full
100, bro. Like, the second that 10 Rings gets to the village, and you're like, oh, let's go, and everything just ramps up from there. Whoo, that setup, my guy. That was amazing. The character designs, the creature designs. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Straight up Cthulhu, man. Like,
oh my god, dude.
Now I will mention
really loved the
that is also
creatures.
Technically one of my grievances based on something that I've read recently. So apparently, it's been said that the Dweller, from what I've been hearing, is the MCU's answer to Fing Fang Foom.
Okay, no,
If
no,
that's the case,
okay, so
I was gonna say if that's the case, then
no,
I
so
wish there was a little bit more of a resemblance.
it could be an entryway to it. So I was kind of discussing this with Devin real quick, right? So the rings, okay, as they talk about in the post scene, they have not seen technology like these rings before, okay? And in the comics, the rings come from an alien dragon race called the Makluans. And that is where Fin Fang Foom is from. He is one of the Makluans. And I can see where the Soul Eater dragon thingy could have been sort of a resemblance of what would have been the enemies of the Makluans, or even a part of the race of Makluans, and I can see how that could tie in to Fin Fang Foom being introduced later. Finding out that the Great Protector Dragon was not Fin Fang Foom was rad. I was okay with that. I was totally
I was happy about that.
Yeah, same, because that would have been a weird entryway for us to finally get Fin Fang Foom. That would have been a weird. But I can see where like this sort of like alien race thing could be sort of a good bridge to introduce Fin Fang Foom and the Makluans later, as you sort of dive into more of the mystery that is the 10 Rings. There's lots that could happen on that, because then we start talking about Captain Marvel and how she sort of plays into like the greater universe of what's happening in the MCU and what her history is. And then we can talk about the Eternals, because the Eternals are also a big part of what's going on between the Celestials, the Deviants, the Makluans, things happening out of the planet. You know, there's lots to be had there. But Garrick, you were going to hop in for a second when you were talking a little bit about creature design. What were you going to say?
Oh, dude, I'm a
Keep talking,
folklore
by the way. I
person.
gotta close my
I
blinds.
love folklore, and just like when they got to Tello, and like you saw like all those, I do not recall their name at the moment, but the giant like lion-like creatures are like a traditional, you know, like they have a name that I would not even be able to pronounce, but like they have like they're like a traditional Chinese folklore creature, and I was just like, I like that they included like that stuff, like for like you know his the traditional like folklore creatures, and like and they had more than one of them, and like I love, you know, of course they made the right call on the dragon design, but like dude, it was just so
well, it's actually interesting. The creature lore, they actually really nailed it, because those the guardian lions, I think they're called like Kiin, or that might be the horse. That might be the horses.
See these ones that I found, the foo dogs, also known as Shishi.
Ah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. So
and then there was like the weird horse thing that had another name too.
Yeah, I think those are the Kiins, or what, however you would pronounce it. The guardian lions in Chinese lore always come in pairs, and they had 2 in the village. Perfect. They nailed that.
I loved it.
The little Morris guy was essentially exactly how they explain it in Asian lore. Like no face, has wings, kind of poofy and furry, like perfectly fucking represented in this goddamn movie. The creature design was sick, dude.
Can we also talk about how the Shishi, they were very fierce looking at first, but at the same time, I whispered over to my wife, I'm like, I want one.
I need 8.
I want one. And then you see them taking a nap, and I was like, that's it. I have to have 2. I have to have 2 right now.
I was really curious. The thing that like, I don't know if you guys caught this too, but like basically like anything like non-material or materialistic armaments like didn't have any effect on like the little soul catcher guys.
Yeah.
But the guardian lions were able to like just their physical beings were strong enough to like take out those creatures, and I was just like, they must be strong as fuck, boy. Like if they're literally just able to become tangible against metaphysical beings, like they're wrecking shop.
Well, the thing is too, is that like, so I know you touched on this a little bit earlier, Garrick, is that like, so the connection between potentially Talo and Kunlun, right? So Kunlun is obviously from Iron Fist, and we can see where that could potentially connect later on down the road. Talo is a nexus point. So they're sort of meaning, for listeners and viewers at home that don't know what that means, nexus points are sort of talked about in Loki. So the TVA is a nexus point. They do not exist in multiple different forms across different multiverses. There's only one, and that is the one across all the multiverses. Talo is the exact same thing. So it would be assumed that these Soul Eater creatures are also arguably from some place that is also a nexus point, and that could maybe be why the mystical creatures in this land were able to defend themselves from these Soul Eaters. It also goes to what they could potentially do to canonize a connection between Kunlun and Talo, because they could just make Talo or Kunlun, vice versa, one of the what they call in the comics the greater cities of heaven, I think is what they call them.
Yep.
One of the 7 greater cities of heaven, and just sort of connect them that way, and that way we have a better introduction to what Iron Fist is doing, which would also make sense too, because what we saw about Master Khan being arch nemesis of Iron Fist, that we can start talking about Fu Manchu potentially being a character later on, who was technically Shang-Chi's dad in the comics.
I think they're gonna do away with that character completely.
Yeah,
there's
too much
there's too much controversy surrounding that character.
Yeah, but I can see them doing some sort of like, that's kind of why they made Wenwu and Fu Manchu like the same thing in this.
Yeah,
story.
they
many names
combined the Mandarin. Yeah,
which would make sense, but I could see them sort of doing a different character that sort of takes that position for Shang-Chi and kind of taking it from there. We can see that in like a follow-up to Shang-Chi or whatever. There's a lot to be had in this movie, dude.
Yes.
One thing I want to talk about. So actually 2 things put into one. The main characters that were not quite main characters. So Shang-Chi's sister was one of the hardest fucking characters in this goddamn movie. Her with the kunai and rope. Oh my god. I did not think rope kunai could be any cooler than Mortal Kombat with Scorpion, and they fucking did it with her. Dude. Her choreography.
Scorpion's got to go back to the gym. He's got to go practice some more.
Dude,
Xialing is out here just wrecking everyone.
Dude, her fucking choreography with that thing in this movie, dude. Oh my god, I was thoroughly the entire like last 30 minutes of the movie, and her utilizing to fight mythical fucking creatures, boys. She used it to fight mythical creatures. It was nailing every single one of them. And
so sick.
Lastly, Death Dealer. How fucking cool was Death Dealer?
That's actually one of my grievances.
Okay.
In a way.
Okay, hit me with it.
So, based on trailers alone, based on the trailers and a little bit of what I know from the comics, it was actually kind of disappointing to see that there wasn't more to it. I thought it would have been cool to see, like, maybe there's like some backstory to where growing up, Shang-Chi had like a friend or like maybe an uncle or something like that seemed like to be on his side and stuff like that. But funnily enough, you never saw the two in the same spot kind of thing. And then come to find out, like, they're in the middle of a fight. He knocks off the mask and, oh shit, it's that guy. This entire time, like, you were that person. Why? What the fuck? I thought that would have been cool. But he ends up just getting his soul sucked.
Yeah.
It kind of didn't sit right with me in a sense. I mean, I understand kind of the idea behind it. Like, the Death Dealer was like this, pinnacle right hand man kind of dude, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just the soul sucker just comes up. And like, I get that, but the way they played it off with the comedy a little bit, didn't really sit well with me.
Sure.
That was one thing I was just like, why?
Yeah. Now, actually, it's good that you bring that up, though. This movie isn't without its grievances. I did have a couple of things that I felt a little bit weird about it. Garrick, did you have anything off the top of your head that you felt a little like, that could have been better?
It's kind of a double-edged sword for me, at least. I understand why Trevor's in the movie.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about this.
The movie could have been just as good as it was without him. Like, it didn't need. He was just kind of a fucking scene stealer, bro. And it was a little frustrating sometimes. You're just like, I get it. It's for the ha-has. You're the Korg of this film. Like, but like it was. I don't know. They only did it to tie up a loose end, basically. Like, but it was a loose end that we didn't even need tied up. We all forgot about him.
Yeah.
I would have been okay with them using Trevor in this movie if somehow he had like renounced his ways and he was actually like in the fight with Shang-Chi in a way or something like that. Maybe I'd be okay with it. But did he really have to be that important of a supporting character? Like, from the moment they bring him in, he's in it for the rest of the movie, and he's actually very integral to them getting to Talo.
Yeah,
we didn't need that. No. We didn't need that at all. Why? It's Ben Kingsley too.
Yeah.
Sir Ben Kingsley, a man who is a very renowned actor, and you're reducing him to shit.
Just a heads up, Husky and Reed, what's happening, guys? We are in full spoilers for Shang-Chi, so if you do not want spoilers, I love you guys. Get on out of here. We don't want to spoil anything for you. Thank you for popping and saying hi, Reed. I'm glad you're feeling better, dude. Am I really the only one that liked him in this movie?
No. That's the thing. I thought he was super funny. I laughed every time he had a bit, but at the end of the day, I was just like, "Fuck, he was just there for the funnies." Like, he was really just there for. I was just like, that's why I thought he was kind of a scene stealer, because every time he did, I laughed, dude. I laughed at every single time he was on camera, because he was funny. He killed it. But like,
we didn't need it.
No, it was just he just didn't need to be there.
I agree. Like, it was funny. But we just didn't need it, and it felt.
I would have been happy if they would have just
part where the comedy felt kind of forced.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was that forced. Like, for me, like, it felt like, okay, so they sort of utilized him as a transitionary piece in order to get them from one point to another, right? So this is. I don't know, man. Like, they used him in such a way that, like, was true. It was important for what they were doing, but it was not as important for the greater picture of things. And I feel like they put him in a part of the movie where it was fine. He wasn't there the entire movie. So it felt like he was there just enough. Because if you notice, like, when we get into the final act of the movie, right? He's hardly there at all. Like, the entire fight of everything going on, they even recognize him laying down, and Morris is like, "No, you're dead." He's like, "Get down here!" like that.
Yeah, no, my wife like audibly gasped when she saw him dead.
Yeah,
and I literally, like, before anything else happened, like during the slow zoom in, I literally whispered over to her. I was like, "It's an act. Just wait." Right, sure, shit.
Yeah.
It was funny though.
On brand.
I feel like they used him in such a way that was very, very clever because of what they gave us with the All Hail the King sort of like one shot that they released on Disney Plus after had released after Iron Man 3 many years ago. They used him in such a way that just like felt right to me. I was like, he needs to. When they introduced him, my first reaction was, "Oh my god, are they fucking doing this?" And then after having him in it and seeing the state of his character, I was kind of like, he should be in this movie. Like, he should be in this movie. Like, I feel like because of his history with the Mandarin and what that sort of like means for like what we know of the Mandarin prior to this movie, I felt like he had a place in this. They just didn't really use his place in a way that would have been too much for me, and that's kind of why I feel like I'm okay with it. If they would have had him more directly involved in a lot more of the final fight, then I would have been like, okay, like, we did not need this at all. Like,
personally, I feel like it would have It would have sit a lot better with me in a sense to where instead of keeping him around as like Wenwu's personal court jester, I would have preferred to have him tortured. This entire time, ever since he got captured from the prison, he was being tortured, getting information on who Aldrich Killian was, getting information about Extremis somehow. Because he was around that. He was around all that stuff. He saw a lot of stuff. He could have had some information that Wenwu could have used to provide more power to his army. I would have preferred to kind of see something like that. And then they help him out because he says he understands Morris, and Morris says he can lead them to Talo. Kind of go that. And then you have little moments here and there where he, now that he's free, he's kind of getting back to his old self and maybe cracking a couple of jokes here and there. But I was kind of clinging on. I know Wenwu was supposed to be this, badass warlord for 1,000 years. I was expecting something a little bit darker there. But that's just me. I'm dark and brooding, even though it's covered by a guise of comedy.
Husky in the chat says, but being tortured isn't funny like being a jester. Which is fair.
True, I guess.
Which is fair. Yeah, I don't know. I can see like where we sort of stand on like this, like on opposite sides of the same sort of overall like feeling. I mean, like I could have done without, and it would have been totally just fine. Even him, I don't feel like him being in the movie really affected the movie enough for me to like really be too concerned about it on my end of things.
Yeah.
He was
True.
half decent comic relief, and that was fine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just glad they didn't do too much with him. They didn't make him more important than they really like needed to. So thankfully, what's up?
We did not bring up Abomination enough.
I also have one other thing
my
that I don't
opinion.
think we brought up enough either. But let's touch on Abomination first.
So, what do you guys think is going on between Wong and Abomination? Because I have my theory.
Thunderbolts.
I have my theory. Yes.
Thunderbolts.
Thank you.
I think Wong is training Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
And
He has been enlisted by Thunderbolt Ross.
yeah, because Abomination in his form is not as sentient as the rest of the Thunderbolts. And so that kind of puts Wong in a position where he's maybe directly connected to what's going on with Thunderbolt Ross and like how he's trying to formulate the Thunderbolts and like what that could mean later on. I don't know, but it definitely felt
after that
like
fight, when he opens up that portal, you see what looks like
the raft,
a prison cell.
The raft
It looks like the raft
is in the portal, right? And even Devin like immediately was like, "Oh my god, 2000 raft." I was like, "I know, I fucking know, dude." Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's an ode to Thunderbolts, and I'm sure we're probably gonna get some more touch on that, like through She-Hulk, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
because he is set to appear in that. From
I mean that or
word
Zemo
universe.
Garrick, what were you saying?
like Zemo's escape in like his departure, because basically, he basically helped form the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, he does. He does. Alongside Taskmaster, and we saw Taskmaster now,
Oh,
and she's now free also.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Free agent for the Thunderbolts.
Free agent. There you go. There you go, dude. There you go. And then Hawkeye could potentially set up some stuff for Thunderbolts too with Kate Bishop. Like, Yelena from Black Widow could have something to do with the Thunderbolts too. There's a lot. There's a lot going on there. And I think Abomination could be sort of the first little hint at like what we have.
Oh, U.S. Agent too. We forgot about U.S. Agent.
Yeah, U.S. Agent as well too. Fucking
yeah, that's opening up.
Yeah, Dollar Tree Cap. It's there. There's so much.
I like Great Value better.
Yeah, I know, right? Great value, Steve. Yeah, there's a lot there that could be had. Me and Devin were big fucking hype on that. Did one thing I want to bring up really quick before I move into the last thing I want to sort of like loosely talk about. Did either of you feel like we were just moments away from getting a Mephisto reveal? Because me and Devin were convinced it was Mephisto. We were convinced it was Mephisto behind that goddamn door. Like when we were thinking about,
I was too.
He's getting voices, he's being offered something, and then Michelle Yeoh's character, Auntie, I guess you could call her, is explaining the lore of what had happened with the Soul Eaters and the Great Protector Dragon and all that, a lot of it felt like Mephisto. And then you see the like bats, like the tentacles in the wood carving piece. It's sort of explaining the lore. Bats, Mephisto's a demon. Like I was so convinced it was finally going to be him. I really was fucking convinced of that. Now I'm not disappointed that much because the dragon thing that was behind that door ended up being fucking sick. But did you guys feel like that too?
I felt an inkling of that.
Yeah, I also kind of that was my initial impression. I was just like, oh shit, this is how they do the Mephisto. I was like, this is a good in. Like, I don't mind this at all. I feel like they did kind of address the whole, like, you know, the dweller in darkness is the demon thing. So I was thinking maybe they were associates in some way. And like this is just
right.
kind of like it was like that little back door. They're like, we're gonna give you this character now so we can give you their, you know, Mephisto later.
Okay.
You say associates, and I immediately think of like Mephisto and the Dweller, like in an office setting. They're just like the Dweller's typing away at his cubicle, like, "Hey Mephisto, you want to grab lunch later?" You're like, yeah, let's go.
You said that, in my brain I thought of Ben Kingsley and Morris. Like Mephisto's holding a dragon in his lap, dragon getting all giddy and shit in the car. Like, no, because for a second I like wasn't completely convinced that the dragon was the thing we were looking for behind the door. For a second I thought like dragons would pop out, fight everything, destroy everything, and Mephisto's gonna walk out of the shadows of the door, and that was gonna be our introduction, even for a second. But then when they really started focusing on the dragon thing, I was like, oh, this is what they're doing. Okay. All right, sure. You know, the Great Protector Dragon came out and was all fucking hype from there, dude. Final Fantasy Advent Children, let's fucking go, dude. It was hype. The last thing I want to bring up is actually Razor Fist. So it's interesting, right? Razor Fist is using the Muramasa sword on his arm. And for anyone at home that does not know this, Muramasa is a very important sword in the world of Wolverine, because the Muramasa is forged with Wolverine's blood and a part of his soul, which is why it glows red the way that it does. Could. I mean, they don't necessarily say that it's the Muramasa, but it glows in a way that is exactly described in the comics, and how it's portrayed in the comics. Now, granted, Muramasa is going to be a soul sword, what have you, still probably wouldn't be able to fight, demons from a nexus point, arguably. But could this potentially be connection to what we could be getting as far as more X-Men in the future, more specifically a Wolverine introduction in the future? Where do you guys sit on that?
I think that it's a nice little visual nod. I don't think it was actually the Muramasa blade. I think that they put that there for people like us to be like, could that be? Could we be seeing Wolverine in the future? That's just, kind of like a nice little throwaway thing. But ultimately, if it was the Muramasa blade, he would have been able to slice through that fucking soul sucker.
Yeah, I mean that is nice. I only mentioned it because Razor Fist is an enemy of Wolverine in the comics, so it's like that connection could be kind of cool to have. Of course, speculation. Cool idea, dope idea. If we do get huge jacked man back as Wolverine, boy, will my life be complete. I'm telling you, like we need that back in our fucking lives. Boys, do you guys have any final thoughts on this fucking movie? Anything you want to exit with as far as anything that has to do with the wonder that is this gift that was given to us? Great.
I absolutely want a direct sequel.
Oh my god! Like, give us Shang-Chi 2 right now. Give us Shang-Chi 2 right now.
Sooner rather than later. Like, don't. They need to not wait on that.
My biggest curiosity is Xialing taking over the 10 rings rather than dismantling it.
Yeah.
I want to know what she has cooked up. I want to know what her plans are. Especially because, and that's one of the slight grievances I had with it, where I was like, after all of that, you're still gonna run.
Yeah,
you're still gonna run a terrorist organization. Like there was like that huge family bonding moment, you know, together taking down a giant Cthulhu based enemy. Like, and then you're gonna go ahead and go the bad route.
It did sort of
I
feel
don't
like
know.
all the like relationship building she did with her brothers sort of like didn't have much of a payoff in the end. I can see I agree with. It definitely
Yeah.
felt that way.
Yeah.
But
So I don't know.
I can see also where that pays off of a potential partnership with the widows. Maybe.
Also, did you catch the widow in the initial Fight Club entrance?
No.
There was a widow. It was the same actress from Black Widow as part of one of the widows.
Oh,
she was
no
in.
shit.
She was the one fighting
really?
the extremist soldier. There's an extremist soldier in there.
I was so focused on the extremist soldier that I wasn't looking at her. Oh my god. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so fucking hype, dude. That's mega hype. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was going through some other forums and stuff like that, looking at all the Easter eggs that could have been missed, and that was one of them. And I was like, you know what? That's right. That's right. It's the same fucking actress, same hair. She has the widow belt buckle and everything. You can see it if you pause it on the right spot. So
my God,
we'll wait until
dude.
it comes out on
Oh my
Premiere
God.
Access, and I'm still gonna get that too.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah.
Frame by frame it.
I'm fucking buying the shit out of that, dude. Did you guys catch the Kung Fu Hustle Easter egg?
Yep.
The poster.
Yeah.
Yep, the poster.
Yeah,
Poster,
dude.
yeah.
Well, and I was cracking up too because in my brain I was like, is that just an ode because it's an Asian movie? But then I remember the dude who actually uses the rings on his arm in Kung Fu Hustle to fight the almost identical same way that when Wu does in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
I was like, tight.
It was a
dude.
nice
Fuck
little
yeah.
nod.
Let's fucking go.
Also, when he's going to meet up with Katie, there's some posters on the wall. One for post blip anxiety meetings.
Yeah.
And then Blip Sync, the new dating app that
Blip sync. yeah.
I guess
love that.
it's like a post blip version of Craigslist's missed moments or whatever.
Dude, it's gonna be rad.
But it's a nice little nod to see where this falls in the timeline currently. And there's also a poster or like it's like an advert on the bus that says it's generally like July 2024 from what I remember. So that would mean this movie takes place right around the same time as Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yes. Which was, I think they said like 3 months after the blip came back. Yeah. So it's right around that time frame. The blip back. Yeah, the blip reverse. The blip wine.
Blip streets back. All right.
Yes, exactly. Well, and it's funny too because they sort of like mention some things about the blip when they're at that dinner with their friend couple, in the first part of the movie.
Also, that one chick. Who do you think you are getting off being so elitist?
Right?
You're like, I'm all high and mighty, getting a full-time job, blah 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 blah, blah 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 blah. Me. Shut the fuck up.
I know. Dude.
Let these people live.
I know.
Damn.
Let them
I hate
fucking
people
live.
like
Let
that.
them fucking live, my dude. Just like we're gonna live, my friends. Our schedule for this week. Tuesday or next week. Tuesday, we are doing a full Shang-Chi spoiler cast. That is going to be an extended version of this, but it'll be me, Devin, and Genesee. Maybe Xander will be hopping to that one. We're gonna dive all into the nitty-gritty of that. Ooh, that's gonna be a fucking fun one. That will be 7 p.m. Live here on Twitch, and then 8 a.m. the next morning. On Wednesday night, we are doing a Destiny stream with Devin and myself, and maybe Xander again. We'll be doing some of that fun stuff, running some Destiny shit. Let's fucking go. On Friday, next Friday, I think, what was it? Life is Strange True Colors comes out. I'm more than likely going to be streaming that next Friday for us. You guys are more than welcome to come in and sit on that and see it. If you're into the Life is Strange series, we can definitely hang out and talk shop on that. Next Saturday, we got a regular episode of the Good Kraken podcast, and it's going to be fucking lit. Boys, thank you for coming in and talking about this wonderful gift that we've been given called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I cannot wait to see this fucking movie again this week. It's going to be so rad, but until we do, this has been the Good Kraken podcast, a show for nerdy marginalized peoples giving you the video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you wanted to hear live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 12 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. If you enjoyed the show, you can support us by subscribing below, going to our YouTube channel by clicking the link in the About section of our Twitch channel, clicking that bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. But until next time, my friends, be good to each other.
And his name is not Sean.
It's not Sean. Yeah, it's
Sean.
Not Sean.
You might if you,
Sean, the G.
your name,
The G.
it's like your name
Shang-Chi.
being Gino, and you change it to Gina.